Hello.
Hello, wife.
Hi, babe.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It's not about me, though.
It's not about you. You're in the volleyball world.
Yeah, and I'm in your world.
I've been thinking we should have a volleyball wives podcast.
That would be fun.
What do they call the show?
You mean a reality show?
No, on this show, I think we should have a podcast. What is the reality show
that would
called?
be good.
Basketball Wives
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah, that'd be good.
It's pretty silly.
Yeah.
But a podcast.
Yeah, I love it.
Should get you and Delaney on here.
Perfect. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them.
Husbands, too.
Yeah, true.
It's always interesting when I come on or listen to your podcast. Like, I don't listen to all of them anymore. I used to listen to more, but when I do listen to them, when there's something I want to hear about, it's like I feel like sometimes you share more on your podcast than you do with me, like day to day, just because we have so much going on and there's so many things. Like, our time to catch up is limited, and so sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm gonna see what's on Tri's mind at the moment and listen to your podcast.
Yeah, I mean, when else do you sit down for like an hour to just talk?
No, yeah, we need to carve more time out like that. But
podcasts are like therapy sessions.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I'm excited to like have this time to talk, because obviously this is all whatever, new for us.
Right.
What's new for us? Why don't we start there?
We just got back from Hawaii.
Yes.
That's new.
We just got back from Hawaii.
My second summer in a row where I took a mid-season break.
Yeah. And we're talking, future and all the things that we have coming and that we're looking towards. And so it's nice to like sit down and just, even for us, like just
have an update
session with each other.
Right, yeah. And everyone listening.
And everyone else.
Yeah, no, it's been crazy. The last 3 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the whole career.
The whole career.
But the last few years have just been different, I suppose.
Yeah.
We're getting older.
Yeah. And you've been feeling different.
Rough, yeah.
You've been feeling kind of crappy.
Yeah, for sure. I'd say the last 3 years, maybe. Just like dealing with more and more of the similar stuff I've been dealing with over the years, and then you sprinkle in the normal injuries that professional athletes get, that we get as volleyball players, the sprained thumbs and the hip stuff, and
right, but none of that's new. You've been dealing with that.
Oh, that's
for
all
your
normal
entire
stuff.
career.
But my point is, like, the autoimmune stuff mixed with the neck issue that I've had. Those things, autoimmune's been kind of dormant, but you just don't. It's always lingering kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then the neck thing's kind of getting worse and affecting my ability to recover, my ability to be comfortable or sane off the court.
Yeah.
Exacerbates how much the small normal injuries that we all deal with and you just play through.
Right.
The sprained thumbs and what all these things, ankles and tendonitis in the knees, and it just makes it that much harder.
Right.
When you have all this other stuff just lingering, it never goes away. So
right.
It just feels like stacks up a bit.
And I guess the difference too is that we've had the conversation over the years of like, okay, how much sacrifice is worth this?
Right.
Right. And we've been having that conversation a lot over the last 2 or 3 years of like, okay, how much are we going to kind of put aside your overall happiness in life or postpone it till like, for what,
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why we're having this pod, I guess, right? Travis isn't here, so we wanted to do like a update everyone, because I kind of went radio silent a little bit on my social media and all that.
Yeah.
And tell everyone kind of where we're at with all of it. But basically where we are at with it is that the sacrifices, the stuff that we're talking about, the hard parts, the sacrifices, the challenges, I guess, aren't being balanced out by the rewards that the sport's bringing anymore for me at this current moment. I think most of it is stemming from health. Obviously the sport's in a unique place. You know, just
yes,
yes,
in a
yes
unique
to all
place.
of it. But yeah, I think we've been talking about it for the last few years, and it finally came to a point where I think it's no longer worth it. The as I was saying before, the juice isn't worth the squeeze, and there's just so much more out there, so much more to focus on. It feels like I've been playing with the brakes on, is kind of how the analogy that's been working for me. Like I'm in a bike race, but I'm playing with the brakes on, and I'm biking with the brakes on, and everyone else is biking without it, kind of thing. And it doesn't have to be that way. I can be living and doing a career or doing things where I don't have the brakes on, but I just have to switch tracks or, what I'm doing. So I guess that's what we're here to do, is just tell everyone that this will be my last month of beach volleyball as a professional after 14 years. And I'm going to play Manhattan, go all in and try to train for Manhattan, and make that my last event. And that's what we're here to talk about today.
How does it feel to say that? It makes me emotional.
Yeah. It's weird. I mean, I think you kind of like, well, at least for me, I was like planning on playing. You're either all in or all out kind of thing, at least for me. So like I was all in for so long, and then it just feels like it's coming up quick. It's not how I had pictured it ending. I had a lot more goals in terms of accomplishments and things that I thought that I was capable of. So it's hard in that sense to step back, but it also feels right. We've sat with it for a few weeks now. More, yeah, but like we've committed to it for the last month or two, whatever, and tried to like sleep on it and see if my brain wants me to, regrets the decision, and it hasn't. So it feels like the right decision, obviously where we're at with our family, and being able to put in more time, shift the focus to family and all that just feels right. But it just feels weird.
It's interesting every time I watch you tell someone, like seeing you get more and more comfortable with it a little bit. I think it's still really weird to hear those words for yourself coming out of your mouth. Like you can't even say the word retirement.
Right.
I think it feels like really weird, because
we literally, like, it was almost like just a word we don't say, kind of thing. But in the last, before the last year, I guess, we're just like, no, it's not a thing. So it came on quick, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it feels right. Like and when I really do the self-work and I step back and like, okay, besides being all in on it, like I'm so laser focused, I just put myself in it and put the blinders on. When I step back and I look at life as a whole and, really look at from a bird's eye view, it's like, okay.
Like why there's no reason not to.
Yeah, it's just where we're at. There's so much more to, like, I don't need to be defined by this one goal that I had as a kid and have it, be my only goal or my only focus all the way through my adult life. Like the beginning of my adult life, I still wanted to do it. And even now, like if I was healthy, I still would want to probably go to 28 was like the the big number, but it's kind of a blessing, I think, that I'm getting the signs, and I'm smart enough to step back, look at it, and listen.
Yeah.
Because in a lot of ways I haven't listened, and I've been punished physically many times over and over
listening.
in small ways for not listening. But that was the journey I was on. I was on I'm going to be that crazy world-class professional athlete that we fight through pain, and we do all
well, this is the whole thing that kept coming up with your autoimmune disease too, is you were like right. fighting past it, thinking like, oh, is this like normal I just have always fought past the pain, this is what I do. And you've been tested with this. People always say like you're going to continue getting tested with the lesson that you're meant to conquer in life until you figure out how to listen, right. Or conquer it, or right. And this is the one that you've been, I feel like, consistently, like, is like your body, because that is the thing that you use the most in this world. I use it a lot. It's kind of my you beat it up, and you don't, I'm an addict. You don't know that you do. Like, you beat it up and you don't. Yeah, because that's just how I was raised, to be active, and that's all I've completely known. But I use my tool that is my body a lot. And even resting for me is like a mental rest is me. Right. Being active. It's interesting because like the conversation that we've been having or whatever has been like consistently like, why does this keep happening? Like, why is your body, treating you this way? Or why is it always blah, blah, blah? And then I think it was like right before those AVP qualifiers, after you threw your back out, where I was like, turned it. And I'm like, but like, look what your body has done for you too. Like right. Your body has done more than most other bodies could do for and you. Even if you look at how you've treated it. I mean, I've treated it well in a lot of ways because I'm so committed to the recovery and all that. But no matter I've just asked a lot from it. A lot. You've asked perhaps a lot more. And I mean these little things are the things that have like made the decision easier, actually. Right. So I guess you could say it was a blessing, but like really herniated disc the week of the like the 1 week I need to be playing in this qualifier. Yeah, no, that's all the things that's made us be like, gods or the world's just like, you're not supposed to play in this again. And it's interesting. And I gave up my berth the first time. I was like, is this like, what are the odds that this happens 2 years in a row? Yeah. And then I go to get not routine, but like my hip's been bothering me for years. Like there's a little pinch in there, and it's been bugging me more. I'm like, oh, let's can I go get some PRP? Like let's get that in there. I know it helps. Okay, but you got to get an MRI first. And the doc's like, oh yeah, we got the MRI back. You have a fully torn labrum. Like, all right. This is getting ridiculous. Yeah. Like, what am I doing? Like, and then I'm gonna, obviously I had to take a break, get the PRP. You have to take a break. Now I'm gonna ramp back up, which I am gonna try to fully ramp back up as best I can for Manhattan, because it'll be like a celebratory ramp up. But get myself all the way back in shape, all the way back to where I need to be, put in all that work, and then something like this can happen again. Like, it could have happened this whole time. Like, that's just the nature of being an athlete, but when it just happens over and over, and you're getting older, and you're sacrificing time away from your children, your wife, your family, all the other things that I enjoy doing, all the things that I can be doing in the future, there's an opportunity cost too, right? Like whatever I do find to do post-career, if I push it back 3 years, there's an opportunity cost there. And now it's like, for what? Yeah. The sport's not. Tell me about it. The sport's in a transition phase that pretty much has been in my whole career, it seems like. And the sponsorships are down pretty much for everyone, certainly for me. So all the signs are just like, I'm actually grateful for these small injuries, and then also the sponsors being gone, except for Wilson. Shout out to Wilson. I don't think you would have ever been able to pull the plug. Right. If you hadn't had all these signs and had there is just something telling me that this is where you're meant to be going. And I'm curious if people are surprised by this, which I think they are, because anytime, I made a joke about retirement on AVP, like, you know, after
right.
he didn't make the league. And everyone's like, no,
You were half joking.
he always bounces. I wasn't joking.
Yeah.
He always comes back. Like, you know, it's always, you know, it's the downs that make the best, you know, and like, I feel like you've had
but he's
hundreds
done that
of
too many
those. You've done
times.
that so many times, and you know what that is,
Yeah.
you know? And at a certain point, it's like, at a certain point, it feels like it's just stupidity or
Right.
stubbornness.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. And I hadn't said any of that.
Right.
Let's just talk about that. The fact that I, like, didn't give you much of an opinion. You're, like, constantly, like, asking me.
You mean through this last
Just
part?
this last part. Like, I've never wanted to push you to retirement.
Right.
Even though, from my perspective, I'm like, this seems crazy to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is like all your you know, so I've like kind of tried to keep my mouth shut, and then finally you're like, I want your opinion. Like, what do you think?
No, for
and
sure.
I'm like, yeah, just.
Yeah. No, it's been been nice to know that it's all been on me. Like, I can make it whatever I want it to be. And I think that was part of the journey and part of the dream of being a world-class athlete, the way that I dreamt it up. Maybe it's because I was raised by, you know, endurance athletes, but I guess the suffering and the challenge part of it was always part of it.
Which it is in a lot of ways, but I think you took it to a whole nother level.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't take it there.
Yeah.
It's just...
It went
I was
there.
just challenged. I was just presented with a lot of challenges, I guess. There's definitely an ego part to it too, right? Where it feels like I was on the cusp of going from, in terms of legacy or where I wanted to be, like being driven by wins and all that, wins and losses, and like I was on the cusp of like cracking into that kind of greatness category where I've envisioned it going. And then the last few years just hasn't materialized, and it doesn't feel like it's because I wasn't able to play at that elite level. It just felt more circumstantial. But then I don't like saying that because in my mind it feels like excuses. Because the reality is just like whatever you put forth, that's your thing, whatever. But then you look on the flip side and you're like, that's crazy to take a negative stance on it. When, like, if you told my 18-year-old self what I accomplished, it's like, dude, that's like, we just wanted to make a main draw.
Yeah.
Like, we just wanted to, I mean, at one point it was like, if you ever won an AVP, it would be like the craziest thing ever.
Right.
Much less, you know, I did all that almost in my first year. I mean, shit, yeah.
And then you continued on.
My first year was a blessing and a curse. Rookie of the year on both tours, the World Tour, AVP Tour. I guess it was my first full-time year with John, win a Grand Slam, which is equivalent to an elite now. And then the next year, I think that same year, I won my first AVP.
Mm-hmm. That was wild.
And like that just set the bar so high it was like the bar I had set, it was just so high for me to like improve on it, which I think was great. And like luckily, like John was he was on the same page as me, so we were going for that. We got a World Tour Finals bronze and a few more World Tour medals. Trevor was on board to attack that with me, which was amazing to go on that journey with him. And you know, a guy that was with me on the court when we were 10 years old learning how to play. They were all up for it, like where I set the bar. And then I was never going to stop raising it, is what I realized, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really fair to myself to like say that I came up short, because like no matter where I went,
it was always going to be short.
Like, well, I got to raise it again.
Right.
And at one point, it was like, I kept raising it. And I was like, well, why do I keep raising it just one step? Let's raise it 2.
Yeah.
Let's raise it 3, you know? And now that the life and the body and, you know, these signs are all telling me like, all right, that's good. We don't need to do that anymore. it's just interesting to think that like now I can kind of throw all that out, knowing that I have all the experience and information and knowledge, and rebuild it based on like where we're at now. I don't want to be as competitive, I think, with others. Like competitive, I love competing. I want to keep competing, obviously, like competing with my friends, golfing or doing whatever. But like, I'm not trying to like compare myself to other, whereas like the, pro sports, just so hard to get out of that. Like that's the whole point, is to, I win, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So I'm excited to kind of figure out what I want to do next that has a little just more kindness and ease to it, flexibility, to myself, I guess, where I don't have to, I can love the body a little bit more and have a little less ego, I guess, which I think I did a good job of, like, being on top of that, but it's just sport and, being young and whatever. Right. It's just a different chapter. It's not that it was wrong.
Right. Well, before we talk about, like, next and, like, what your thoughts are next, talk more about, like, I don't know, your journey through it all. I mean, first of all, the fact that, like, all the autoimmune shit and, like, that's, I mean, it's funny, you hate talking about excuses. You don't even talk about that stuff when you bring up, like, what you've been through and you've kind of ignored all that your whole career, or you've kind of tried to, it's like, it makes you vulnerable, I think, to opponents maybe. So you've never talked about it much, or never, like,
It just feels like, I don't know, I guess my competitiveness is like, I think I got through it. I showed that physically I can get back into peak form. Volleyball-wise, I can get back to peak form. So, like, if you can be in peak form, then what's your excuse? Like, yeah, you had that and all that, but, like, we're all in peak form here, so...
Right, but I feel like most of your friends don't even know that you are still getting an infusion monthly.
Yeah.
You have a nurse come to your house 4 hours once a month to infuse you with the medicine, where without it, you would start having that inflammation all over again.
Yeah, so I'm like... I got the autoimmune disease...
2016 or 2017.
After the 2016 season, after me and John won the World Tour Finals bronze. And then, I was out for 2 years. So that whole journey changed me a lot, right? Had to, like, fully start from scratch there. I had to fully check my ego. I've had to check my ego so many times. Just like, what? Watching everyone else play in the World Championships, watching everyone else play a whole season and a half without me. People winning when it's like, I believe I'm the best player out here. They're winning, but, like, it doesn't count because I'm not there, kind of feeling. That's the competitor in me. And then came back and somehow kind of made my way back to the top, not all the way to where I wanted to be. Like, I wanted to touch world number 1 on the World Tour because, I mean, why not? In my rookie of the year, I already won a Grand Slam. Why wouldn't I set the bar at that level? But like the autoimmune stuff, like, it just kept, there just was so many roadblocks. And that's what I realized too, is like, it's so stupid and silly to compare one person's journey to the other person's. Like, this person's great. Like, I heard on SportsCenter last night, like, Scotty Scheffler he's the best golfer in the world.
Thank you.
By far right now. He's been like number 1 for a long time. But and then he went on a presser and said, none of this matters if my family stuff falls apart. Right now it's working out. It feels good for my family. It's working for my kids. But the day it's not, I'm out of here. And then the Sports Center analysts, like, one of them was great about it, appreciated. The other one was like, well, this doesn't prove that maybe, the fire's not burning strong enough. Like, look at the Jordans and the Kobes and the... And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, to compare to the Michael Jordans and he's like, and the Tiger Woods. Like, I don't know if, does his fire burn good hot enough to accomplish and be as great as Tiger Woods. And like, Tiger Woods is living a depressing life right now because of how deep he went. Like, I wouldn't wish Tiger Woods' life on anybody, and I bet you he wouldn't either. I don't know that for sure, but like, it's hard to watch. Like, it's sad. So like, that whole comparison thing is
that's
just like,
interesting.
yeah, he not threw his whole life away. Like, he's a great person, whatever. I don't know him, but like, he went all in. He missed out on a lot of other things that life has to offer because of the path that he somewhat decided to, somewhat didn't decide to go on when he was like 2 years old, you know, like, and it's just like so stupid to compare.
This is very interesting. So like, do you think that there are examples of like top elite athletes who I mean, he's one obviously, who have like well-rounded,
I've never heard
like
an athlete
happy
say
lives?
it so concise, like clearly, and like, you just seem so grounded, as Scotty Scheffler said it, while he's at the top. He's number one right now, and he's just like, the wins just last 2 minutes, and then I go home and I'm thinking, what's for dinner? So he has that perspective.
Yeah.
He's like, I still have the drive. Like, I want to keep going out there and trying to win. I love it. I don't even know why, but
Interesting.
yeah,
it's funny because this is the same for actors. Like, this is the thing.
Your guys'
like,
industry is gnarly.
Well, it's the same thing where a lot of the top actors have historically gone to this like really dark place when they're trying to take on a certain role or whatever it is, or they think they have to have really messed up lives in order to be able to like dig into that kind of life and know what that feels like.
Right.
But now there's this new wave. I mean, it's been around for the same amount of time, but this imagination based form where it's like you don't have to have experience. Yeah, sorry.
Right.
So I'm talking about like methods, right?
Well, there's
like
there's
like a method. There's obviously a lot of different methods, but there's a method where you're like, okay, I have to have a shitty life. I have to have really intense experiences, dark experiences, and that will make me the best actor because then I can relate to people who have been through these experiences.
Like, if that's the role that you get assigned
to,
but
you're going to naturally, just in general.
Oof,
but like,
brutal.
Yeah, but a lot of the times the roles you're taking on are like dramatic, right? Unless you're a comedy act, you know.
Yeah.
We're talking like the best actors in the world have taken on like these really dark. They were telling like dramatic stories.
Right.
But the way that I've always approached it, at least especially like in this later part of my career, is I'm like more imagination based. So I'm like, that's what my mentor has always said. Like you can have a really happy life and be a really good actor. And there's examples of that now of people who are, you know, imagination based, and they're like, no, I can fully like imagine and convince myself that this is my reality, but I can walk away from it. I can go home at the end of the day and be in like have a happy family, whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what that is, because I don't know.
Thank God you're that way.
Right.
If you brought it home.
Well, you're saying that as somebody who brings it home.
I know, I do. That's what I'm saying. Imagine if we were both doing it at the same time.
No, but I've said that to you recently. Like, you need to remember how many years you brought this home with you. If I ever do have a role where I'm like, bring it home, and then you get upset about it or whatever.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm like, okay, let's remember. No, but going back to it. Do you think
very true?
It's possible for an elite athlete and for yourself to have a happy life and still be the best?
I don't think we didn't do that. I think just the health part was the biggest part. Like, obviously, losses took a little bit. Certain losses took a little bit to brush off, and that's why I think a lot of them were like almost identity crisis stuff. When you lose, you're like, that's not a proper portrayal of who I am, and where I am, and how good I believe I am, kind of thing. I don't know. It's confusing, but.
Well, what about like the body stuff though?
That
like
part,
that's a whole different thing.
I can't not. That's the other thing is I can't leave that on the court.
No, but I'm not. I'm not talking about things that are in your control. I'm talking about all of it. Like, have you been a happy, like, if you look back at your career, I mean, especially specifically these last few years, but like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed it. There's like no regrets. I think I got the experience I asked for is kind of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I did it again, of course I would use my knowledge now to do it, tweak it. Or if I were to like advise our kids, obviously I'm going to use the information based on what I did. You might not want to do this, you might want to do that. But I enjoyed the journey. Like when looking back, it's very positive. I can definitely acknowledge the downs, and there was a lot of downs. But like I said, that's kind of maybe I manifested it because I saw, when you're young, hard work, dedication, go all in, don't hold back, all that cliche stuff.
And you'll get where you want to go.
And you get where you want to go. And it worked. And I did it. And the hard work does pay off. And you have the sacrifice, and then you get the reward. You're like, there you go. It works, just like they said. So I still don't know. Is it possible to get everything out of your body without that? Probably not. But you just have to figure out what sacrifice is worth it, and like really step back and like understand what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Like understand what sacrifices you're making. And there is another route too. I see other players taking completely different routes, right? Like seeming less serious about it, but they also seem like they're enjoying themselves a little. Seem like they're not working as hard, which isn't my style, but they're still doing well. They're still succeeding. So there's multiple ways to do it, and everyone just has to kind of do it on their own. What's crazy about comparing to your industry is there's multiple things. First is what you already talked about, like getting into that role. You have to go live in that usually dark place at some point, in that person's skin or whatever it is, right? The character. But then also, you guys are chasing money and success just like any other sport, right? Like, and you guys have a crazy upside. Like people make millions and millions of dollars off the acting industry. So there's still that competitive ego. I want to be the best actor, success part of it that you're fighting while trying to deal with those roles and whatnot. And then on top of that, it's other people deciding whether or not you're right for that role. It's not, at least for me, like if I score more points on the board, I win. I get the money. For you audition. Oh, wow, this girl's an amazing actor. We're going to give it to this person because it's just what we're looking for. No offense. You get nothing. You never existed.
Never knew that we loved you.
It's like, you're telling me that I perform perfectly and I don't get the role. I don't get the paycheck. I don't get any of the success. Like that, to me, I was just like, screw your industry. That shit sucks. But obviously, like, you've kind of had a good approach on it from a young age, even from college, right? Where you were like, I just audition and then have zero expectation after that. Which for me would drive me crazy as an athlete. I'm like, if I perform, I want to win. Like, it's very clear. Right. I win, they lose. I win, I get paid.
Right. Well, it's interesting because we talked about that a lot with like drive and like, you have to really want something, right? And be willing to sacrifice something in order to get it. You're not going to get it if it's like, kind of in the back of your mind. Yes. Like you're not like fully. But then, for me, when I was in that like all in approach, I was lacking things in the rest of my life and I was unfulfilled and right. I was, so it's like finding that balance. But I think as a professional athlete, you can't have like a side interest. Like we talk about you, like, okay, if you're not feeling fulfilled from volleyball, right? Like how can you have a full life, right? Like obviously you have your family, but you can't have your hobbies. Like you can't go surfing. You can't go do fun things because your body needs rest. You can't go drink or go party, snowboard, whatever. Yeah. I mean, not that you're a partier, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't, as an athlete, you can't have that like release.
Right.
And I think that's what's been tearing you down, at least more these last 2 years, is when you're not experiencing like the high of the highs, right? Is like,
yeah, and it gets more, right, with age and with more injuries, and it's like, okay, but at one point do I get to go play with my friends, or what one
right.
point do I get to
Or
go
play with my kids without like being in
travel,
pain or having a
yeah, we go
headache.
get to take a trip, or
I think it was like a couple months ago where, you know, you had the whatever shitty, I can't remember which shitty situation, but something happened where, you know, you had a shitty week and we're like, okay, let's just like go out to dinner and like enjoy our night. And you got a migraine.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah, those are
and you
those are the
couldn't.
moments.
And you had to stay home and you're just like in pain. And that was the moment where you're like, why am I doing this? I can't even enjoy my personal time outside, my off time outside of volleyball because I'm in so much pain and I'm doing this to myself.
Right.
It's like, okay, so how is this worth it?
Yeah, those are the moments too where usually it's like I can't sleep or something, you know, or I travel across the world, I do all the prep, we're ready to go, everything's perfect, let's go perform, and you can't sleep that night because the jet lag or the injury or you know, sometimes you're just so stressed, your mind's, it's gotten to that point where it's just like, well, I guess I'm gonna go. I prepared everything to go play with a 70% tank.
Right.
And it's like, this is stupid. Like, what am I doing? And obviously that's kind of the name of the game when you're playing on a world tour.
Right.
Everyone's traveling, but at some point it's like, why? Like, if I can't go out there and play, like, no one's 100% all the time, but like there's definitely a threshold there where if you're not able to like put the product out there that you've prepared to put out,
yeah,
it's like this, and it's out of your control, like you've done all the right things, like this is ridiculous. And then the nights where you're like, okay, to be productive, I'm gonna relax, or I'm gonna do something fun for myself, or like, oh, I'm gonna go get in the water for me, right? And then, oh, my neck's more jacked because I went in the water, or something like that, you know?
You can't,
like,
I mean, literally any of the things that you love doing, you can't enjoy right now. That's the point we got to.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't been wanting to start foiling in the water, or like whatever it is, you know? And even getting to the point where it's like, I don't even know if I can do that.
Yeah.
There's like 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds doing laps around me in Hawaii. I'm like, I better be able to do that. Like,
yeah. I know. And that was the other conversation that we started having is like, if you were to continue on another 4 or 5 years, you know, like how much would that set you back as an older person in terms of how your body's 60s. Feeling? You're already feeling this crappy and you've already done this much damage to your body. What would another 4 or 5 years or however many years do to you in terms of enjoying your life later on and being able to use your body and being active?
Yeah. No, that's where you don't want to, I don't know, it's weird because there's just a lot of unknowns, I guess, with the future. So I'm just used to having injuries, so I don't know which ones are like to think are more or less serious. But yeah, I think right now is the point where it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
As our daughter shows up, we don't even have enough time to record a podcast.
We're like, okay, we're both delirious from our red-eye flight to Hawaii. we have
a little window
half
here.
A brain. Yeah. No, I'm like really excited personally for what the future holds. Obviously, there's a lot of like bittersweet feelings to all of it, but I can't help but feeling just completely excited and positive about it and what the future has, and like seeing you kind of find yourself and the things that bring you joy again outside of beach volleyball.
Yeah. For sure.
I'm really excited for that future.
Yeah. No, I'm excited too. I think for me, it's helpful to, like I said, I needed your honest opinion, not just like telling me what you think I want to hear. But I'm excited. I know that I'm good. Once I commit to something and I let go and I just move on, I'm good at moving on. But coming to that decision is like when I'm all in, I don't think about the other side of it. So like now that I'm deciding and making the decision, going through the process, I'm glad that I have a month to like be an athlete again. Like I was in the sauna hammering on the bike. I was like, okay, this feels like I can go as hard as I want, kind of thing. But we get like a month to like feel it out and reminisce, whatever. But I think it'll be good now that I'm committed to it. Like I'm pretty good at letting go and just like being like, okay, my legacy is what it was.
Yeah, and I think it'll still probably take some time to continue to wrap your head around it.
For sure. And seeing, my friends out there playing or getting wins, it's just whatever. But there's a lot more. There's a lot more out there that I'm excited to explore.
Yeah, so what do you think might be next for you?
I don't know.
Tri Bourne.
A lot of people have asked. Seems like I'm like a little surprised of like people think that I would have an answer already.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
Oh, so are you gonna get into coaching or this?
It's like after you just had a baby and they're like, so you're gonna have another one?
I was all in, and that's it. I was all in. Right. It would have been nice if the whole time I was like, oh, and I'm really interested in this, and I'd like to. This is why I did the board of directors. I was on the board of directors at USF. This is why I started the business of the podcast, went into broadcasting, because I knew I wanted to have multiple skills and knowledge of what is and what's potentially out there. So I'm confident that I'll find that thing, but I never considered what it might be. And I hopefully like you're buying us some time with getting into your work, and I need some time to figure out what that'll be, but I'm very open-minded. So anyone, whatever the world wants to bring my way, I'm open-minded, whether it's staying close to volleyball or far away from it, getting a competitive job, or maybe a job where I can just go to work, come back and leave it, like not stay up thinking like, how can I make it better? I gotta be better.
You're very good at turning off at the end of the day. That will come in handy.
Yeah.
Well,
so we'll see.
I think my goal for you.
Let's hear it.
I want you to have an opportunity to do nothing for a minute. Like, I don't want you to have to think about what's next yet. I think, like, you've been going so hard for so many years, and also you've, like, invested so much in supporting me through all my endeavors. And, like, I mean, you've been the one who's made it possible for me to, like, stop bartending and, buy this house that I could renovate, and like without everything that you did, none of that would be possible.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you've been like investing in this, and I love how throughout our relationship we've been able to kind of flip-flop and like lean on each other. That's kind of like when you were out. I mean, actually, I think when you were out with your autoimmune disease, we both had a shitty time.
Solidly for a bit.
But for the majority of the time, like when something's not happening for me, it's happening for you, and when something's happening for you, it's not, so I love that we can kind of balance, and I'm hoping that we can let you like have a minute to like find the things that will like fill you up and you not feel like you have to jump into anything quite yet. And like I want to like find your joy again and your spark, and like you're like so you surf and spend time with the kids.
I'm super grateful for that. And it seems it's actually exciting because I don't feel excited, or like I don't want to jump straight into anything. And I think it's easy for people in my situation to be like, well, I got to find the next thing right away. Like, I mean, we all need jobs. We all need to make, like, we've made a pretty expensive living for ourselves. But yeah, like you said, like you've kind of been like charging up. Like, when is it my turn? Kind of like, I want to get my stuff going. But we've been focused on mine, and we knew mine would end eventually. So it's like, yours can last a lot longer than mine. You can do yours a lot later. But it's awesome to like feel your excitement to like take your stuff on and like lean into it and see what you're capable of. So that I can be like, okay, good, because I'm not that excited to do much right now.
Yeah,
I don't
no, you
have that
shouldn't
energy,
be. Like, you've been
but you're like
holding
excited to do something, to
everything
do your stuff.
together
So let's
for
do your
so
stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's like, people are asking, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm like, I don't know. Trophy wife, trophy husband, ideally.
For me
or
too.
whatever. I don't even care.
I would love that.
A little more time in Hawaii.
Yeah.
More time with the kids in the ocean. Playing, but not beating myself up. I'm gonna find that balance.
What about the SANDCAST tour? Is that gonna happen?
SANDCAST is still on the table. You know, we've never looked ahead with SANDCAST. It's always been like, let's just make this and see what happens. And then, oh, year 2. Whoa, we made it 5 years. Wow, we made it 6-7 years now. So I'm thinking we just stick with that for now.
Yeah, and I feel
Travis
like you
is
haven't
all
had...
over the place. I'm all over the place. I've always been all in on volleyball. I've never had time to really put into the SANDCAST.
Exactly.
I don't know how much energy it will. I'll be excited to give to it, but we certainly are going to keep it going and wing it, like we always do. But you know, we're open to any help or energy or whatever comes our way.
Yeah, we've never been much of planners.
Yeah.
I think maybe...
SANDCAST full-time job?
A little bit. I
That'd
think
be
maybe
nice.
like we could, use a little more planning, but in general, like I don't 5 years ago, I wouldn't have wanted to know where I am now. Like, you can't, when you're in our line or just in general, like I love the idea of like, let's just see where life takes us. And I'm actually really okay not knowing. Because that means there's so much more.
The financial unknown.
Right. That's the main thing.
To stress out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm on the same page. It's just like, we don't need to like, it's not like I have dreams to like make millions and millions. Like, I'm okay if we do, but like, just that comfortability, you know?
Yeah.
Which I think we've built a solid foundation. And the fact that we've done that through me playing beach volleyball, and like we live here, from me playing beach volleyball, like the thing I was doing when I was 12 years old with my friends, is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So, is what it is.
Do you think like knowing how your body feels now from what you've done for the last however many years, you would have done anything differently? Like, I think you said something the other day about like, I don't know if I'd know.
The other day I said it?
Yeah, I think you said, and you didn't say like I wouldn't have done it, but I think you started to say something along the lines of like, if I'd known,
if I knew how the results would play out, I think that was what I was saying.
Huh.
So it was like, I'm going to go all in. So when I switched over to play with Kame, I'd already known. I was like, man, this neck like issue is not my neck.
It's been like 10 years.
I mean, it's been
more.
Like my whole career I've had this issue, but it's kind of gotten worse. And I was like, if I'm gonna keep blocking, I'm gonna keep doing it. Like, I know I can be better at blocking. I got to do it now, kind of thing, and I got to make sure we go all in, blah blah blah. But then the training of it, the more I trained it, the worse it got. But I was trying to go all in on it so that I could prove to myself and show everyone like how elite I could be, but I couldn't train the way that I wanted to train to be as elite as I knew I could be. So like, I don't think I was blocking. I don't think I ever hit my potential because I never got to practice and train the way I wanted to, because I was always limiting those reps because it hurt too much. So in that sense, I was like, it would have been probably a better call to switch to defense, or at least stay split blocking, or, hindsight's always 20. I don't regret anything because I made the decisions from the right place. I was, like I said, I set the bar so high that it was like, I have to find a way. I have to do really difficult things, make
something
really
to make
difficult
a
decisions,
change. Yeah.
make changes, sacrificing, huge things to get there. If this is my goal, I got to do it. And it just like, it did not materialize. So all those reps I put on my neck that didn't materialize in wins that I was planning on it materializing in, and obviously the Paris Olympic berth, I was like, that was a bummer. And then at the same time, I've always thought about myself as like one of the most well-rounded beach volleyball players that there is. So I wanted to prove what I could do on defense, but my like hunger to prove what I could do blocking, and I never felt like I got to get there, made me keep pursuing blocking. And then I ended up not getting to do either, really, to the best, show at the best of my potential, which I still was, one of the best to do it. So
yes.
it's cool. But yeah, there's always going to be like that. Looking back, I don't consider it regrets. Regrets don't like make sense to me, really, because it's just worthless.
Yeah.
But yeah, live and learn kind of stuff. And as I put more time to it, it's easier for me to accept. Whereas in the moment, it's just like the last few years, just like I can't accept and any of this that's going down, which causes too much stress. And that doesn't help your immune system, and then that doesn't help your body heal. It doesn't help you sleep. If you're not sleeping, you're screwed. It's just like an avalanche of things. And then even when you do find the balance and figure it out, then well, you might herniate a disc in your back right before the tournament that you got to be, or you have a torn labrum in your hip that you've been playing with this whole time. So yeah, it is what it is. It's I know when it's all over, which will be in a month, and then I have time to think about it, I'm gonna be able to reframe it. I think I've always been good at reframing things and just seeing like, wow, it was awesome. But when you're in it, I'm not going to hang my hat on what I did my first 3 years, I never have. I never wanted to. I just got to go. That's where I was, and I want to move forward. Now I can be like, oh, yeah, like I can acknowledge that what I did my first year winning that Grand Slam and stuff was like one of my greatest accomplishments. But when you're young, you're like, I don't want this to be early in my career to be one of my greatest accomplishments. I want to keep building. So now I can acknowledge these things,
and that's just the world tour too.
Yeah, of course. AVP was amazing as well, and like the experience. I got to be sponsored by Monster Energy, like Wilson. Like I had the best sponsors, and I had Kona Brewing, and I have my own. I have the biggest beach volleyball
biggest
podcast.
Stages. I feel like
the
that
biggest
was
beach volleyball podcast in the world. Like with this kind of set, it's like world famous. Going around the world and people aren't even talking about my volleyball. It's like my podcast, the business that I've built. So like now it's time to like step back and kind of appreciate it.
Yeah.
And plus the relationship with the people and the fans and everyone involved with it. So that's the goal the next month, is to appreciate it all, celebrate it a bit.
Celebrate it a lot.
And hopefully, I'm trying to figure out what to do with the competitor in me, because I'm usually win or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to try to win without the expectation to win.
Love that.
So whatever that turns out as is the product.
Would you have celebrated your wins differently? Like, I feel like you always had the mindset of like, okay, we won, let's enjoy it for a millisecond and then look to the next one a little bit. It was
depending on the timing and all that, but usually I was like the day of, or like once I wasn't going to sacrifice like my preparation for the next one in celebration for the past one, but we did celebrate. I mean, we had some good sellies.
Totally.
For sure. It was usually like that day though, that night we just went for it. My famous Milwaukee, when I won in Milwaukee, and my flight was already booked just because rookie move, whatever. I don't know if I expected to win. It was my first win. My flight was booked. So we win. I'm doing the presser. I'm like, oh my God, my flight's in like an hour or something. I got to go. I don't have a ride. And so I do the interview and I grab my backpack and this random family's like, you want to ride? Literally like fans or something. Like I'm like signing autographs. And then while there, I'm like, I got to go, guys. Sorry, I can't sign anymore. They're like, you want to ride? We'll give you a ride. So these like kids and this family, I'm like in the van with them, like sweating, all sandy, rushing to the airport. I get on the plane and I'm just like sitting there with the trophy, like, what? I shouldn't have got on this plane. I should have canceled and postponed and like stayed and celebrated. And I'm just like, what am I doing? And then I get home that night and it's like Sunday night. No one's around.
Super
like,
late. Yeah.
This isn't how I pictured celebrating my first. Like I thought winning my first AVP, that's like the biggest dream. And this is it. I just like get home and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Just like sitting there alone, like obviously with you.
Yeah. Sorry.
And I mean.
So, okay.
We didn't really do anything.
What's your favorite win?
Favorite win?
Yeah.
Ooh. I mean, the Berlin Grand Slam was like the biggest, like, it's on. Like, wow, I'm one of the best players in the world and I'm one of the youngest. It opened Pandora's box to like what's possible. Like, oh, okay, this is where I'm at. Because I also went through Emmanuel Rigo, like arguably the greatest player ever, the most winningest beach volleyball player ever. To get there, obviously he's on his way out, but Pedro Solberg. I'm on the podium with Alisson, Bruno, Nick Lucena, like, you know, like, so I was like, this is a legit win. Like I went through the top guys. To get here, it was like, set the bar. Celebration was fun. It was a little underwhelming as well. I remember it was like, aren't we supposed to like rage or something?
Yeah.
You know, like
you're like at a train station in Berlin.
Yeah, I think Rose. Yeah, we were at the train station. Sean Scott, USA Volleyball. He's like, USA Volleyball is paying for the dinner. We had a steak dinner, so that was cool. But it wasn't like a party, and we went back to the hotel bar. And it was like, no one's here. It was like Rosie was there. And he's like, you know, the tradition, you win, you buy.
Yeah. You're like, great.
But then no one was there.
Yeah.
I was like, drinks on me, Rosie, or like whoever. Yeah, you know, it was like maybe one or two guys there. I was like,
yeah.
All right, well, if it's the tradition.
Yeah.
But those two kind of like opened Pandora's box for me, because it was like, oh, I'm a top guy on the tour. I didn't know that before. And then World Tour Final was amazing. That was a big one for me, because same thing. Bruno and Alisson came back from winning the Rio Olympics. I'm on the podium with them. It was a good paycheck that I used to pay for your engagement ring.
That was really good timing.
But it's a World Tour Finals. Like that was the elite, and I'm on the podium.
Yeah.
But then the funnest wins for sure. My first Manhattan.
Yeah, first is more higher than the second, right? Yeah,
the best, highest of high. Winning with Trev, Jose. You know, that's the dream. Is when you live in this town or you're an American player, is getting your name on that pier. It just feels so like forever. And then I had made it. I'd been in the finals twice before that, and then I got my autoimmune disease. It was like, so I had to sit on that. Not getting on the pier, having match point against Casey and Jake years before for so many years. Oof. And that moment was just like by far the best celebration. And the Shellbacks moment, it all lived up to the expectation.
Totally.
The party. And then the next year was super special, because I always thought like it takes a lot to win once, but the people who can do it twice, like with the target on their back and the expectation, like those are the badass ones. So we did it, pulled it off, and then celebrated, but also like I got Trev on board as Chicago, like we got to win both of these to like cement ourselves. We're going to get team of the year. We're going to like, this is like some legacy shit. So we regrouped. We didn't like take break after, and like, you know, we partied properly that night, obviously. And then we stepped up and we had that crazy match against the Taylors, which was one of the funnest matches probably that I played, because they're just like, you know, so athletic and bouncing balls. And there's such a, when you're playing with especially Taylor and Trevor, they have such an understanding of like, yeah, we're going to go at each other. Like, we're going to dialogue. We're going to go at each other fully, and it's fully accepted. So we all went at each other, but we're all friends. And it was just like, I could tell the fans were entertained thoroughly. And there was amazing plays. And then it came down to just like deuce at the end. I think it was the third set, you know, like kind of like I forget, it was like a 14-all situation. Somehow Trevor got the block for the win. Usually that's me. It was an ugly block, but it was an amazing block. And then that celebration that night was, Chicago did not disappoint. Streeters.
I love it.
And then what happened after that? I don't know. Then I blacked out.
Yeah.
Then it is what it is. But yeah, I'd say that those Manhattans and
those are good ones.
what are other ones? John. I had a bunch with John. Also the early World Tour years with John, where there were after parties, and I'm not a huge partier, but like the experience, like when me and the older players know what it is, like we all went out together. It was like a more of a tight group on the World Tour, even AVPs, because there was these after parties, like a social gathering after every event. And they had us, Hannes Jagerhofer, the greatest promoter ever. He had the, Red Bull backing his tour, and we were in Croatia, and like you got to pick and go at all these trips. It was just like amazing places, amazing stadiums. The fans were into it. That's like the experience I wanted as a professional athlete, like the fans and the money and the energy and then getting to see the world and like amazing places we got to go to that kind of fell off last few years. I don't really want to be negative, but like you don't have that social aspect after events anymore. And then the energy is not there. It's not like that VIP, like, I know Stade still has it. Austria, if they had an event there, I'm sure they have it. There's certain places. Brazilian fans are always the best, in my opinion. But yeah, those memories are the good ones.
Yeah. Love it.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Never thought about it.
Yeah.
Until now.
Yeah.
Not really.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about it, but
I know.
You always think you're building. You always think there's going to be more. There's going to be better ones. We're going to one-up it.
But that's with anything in life. Like, they say that about your kids, right? They're like, you never knew the last time you were going to you never knew it was going to be the last time you could pick up your child. Like, there's going to be one day that's the last time that you pick them up, and you didn't know it. Like, and you can't remember it. Yeah, sure.
When they're like 40.
Yeah.
And throw
but
my
no,
back
but
out
that's
again.
like, yeah. No, but
what about you? What's because just for context for fans, we got together in college.
Yeah.
So you saw the end of my college career.
I've been there through all of it.
And then before I even knew that, it was literally like probably that time when we got together that I was like, that people are like, hey, there's a professional, like people play professional volleyball after. I knew that, but I didn't know it was for me. And I was like, well, I wonder if I could do that. That'd be cool. Like that'd be the dream if I could go. And I got to go to Puerto Rico. It was like a lower tier league, but for me it was like the biggest. I'm a pro athlete. Like, this is cool. But like, yeah, going from there. So Gabby she literally has been a part of the entire thing, from like considering being a professional athlete to right now. And you got to pick your trips over there. She went to 1 or 2 every year, basically.
Yeah, at least.
So you got to go to the good ones. She was not going to go pick the junk ones.
Yeah.
Which ones are your favorite?
Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting because I kind of had the same approach as you. Like, I had no expectations from it, especially in the beginning. Right. Like, I'm like, I don't know if you're gonna win these. Like, I don't know, like, that this is a professional sport. Existed.
You didn't know that I liked beach volleyball even, really, when we first got together, because I was playing college
You're playing indoor.
Yeah,
and then all of a sudden
you
you're
like,
play
beach as a kid. That sounds like you enjoyed that.
And then all of a sudden you were like, I think I can play. Yeah, I think all of, like, I just remember the early days of, like, even, like, in, like, Atlantic City, New Jersey, where, like, it wasn't a win.
Oh, yeah, with me
but it was like
and Jeff Carlson.
Yeah, you won one.
Will Montgomery days.
You won one, and it was like, whoa, like, you won against, like, the number one seed.
I beat Hayden and Evie. Luckily, Sean Scott was hurt. Yeah.
But like,
those little,
so like those like in the
boosts.
beginning where you're like the little before you have expectations for any of it, where
Yes.
it's just like, this is so cool, like that,
Yeah.
you know, and we're just like along for the ride, seeing what happens. That was like Berlin too, where I was actually on that one.
Yeah, you were.
And
Wow. That's
every
crazy.
single trip that I went on, I didn't know if I was gonna have time to hang out with you and explore the place,
Right.
or if we were gonna be playing up until the very end.
Right.
So I had to come in like, you know, again, no expectations and no idea what the trip was going to hold. It was like
Right.
every game, every match, I didn't know if that was going to be your last. I didn't know if we were going to have a hotel paid for that night, if we were going to have to move to a new hotel, if we were going to.
That's true. We won.
So
and that's all we talk about.
For that reason, the wins and the losses are my favorite. Like, it's not necessarily the wins being my favorite, because after the losses, that meant we get to like go and explore and spend time together. Like, Stad was so depressed. No, I was never cheering against you. I love the wins just as much, but like Stad was super depressing. I mean, that trip to Germany might have been my highlight,
Berlin?
even though
Which
the
one?
other one, the world tour, the world champs.
Oh yeah, that's right. That one was
where was
sick.
that?
Actually, yeah. How did I not mention that?
Well, because it was
probably
because in your mind
experience.
you're probably like, oh, I got a fourth. That fucking sucked because I ended on a low. But
yeah, but I saw that was actually my favorite playing experience. Oh yeah, we forgot to mention the Olympics too.
Yeah, the Olympics.
But like that crowd and playing against Krasnolakov.
Yeah, that has to be.
And Stoyanovsky, and then against Mol and Sorum, knowing that like they're playing for a world championship. These are the top. They ended up being gold and silver in the Olympics, and seeing the Norway fans show up and like that place raging, and you were in there, and me and Trev not being able to talk. We're like, holy shit, bro, I can't hear you.
Yeah.
Like, and he's standing right next to me.
Yeah.
And it was just like, yeah, this is the experience I wanted.
Yeah. So
that was so cool.
Those two back-to-back events, that event, World Champs, where you played till the very last round, you were in the bronze medal match.
Yeah.
And then the following week where you lost first round. Both of the in Stad.
Oh, I went straight to Stad.
You went straight to Stad and you lost first round. So those two events, that's my favorite trip of all time. I was pregnant with our first kid.
You were really pregnant.
I was 7 months pregnant, and I was hurting a lot. How we went to, so like, first of all, that win, like that was so cool to be like pregnant, like you're just looking to the future, you know, you're just
also,
like.
That was right after the autoimmune, kind of.
Yeah, it was like
on your up. That winning was like, we finally got out of credit card debt.
We paid. Yeah, that was such a highlight. We're in the hotel room when you pushed pay on our last credit card payment that we were in debt with, because the money had just come in.
Right.
And that was such obviously like an amazing moment. We're like, holy shit. And then just like being in that like arena, like watching you play with those, like that was just the coolest experience. I had my childhood friend there who lived in Germany at the time. She came and I got to like spend some time with. It was just like such a highlight, and you played till the end. And then the next week also was such a highlight. You lost first round, and obviously that was really depressing. But we biked. We rented bikes and took them on a gondola up to the top of the mountain because it was summertime, so there was no snow.
The most famous beach volleyball venue.
Down the mountain.
Good thing the brakes worked.
And then we took a trip to, we just like randomly last minute, like booked a trip to Geneva, ended up on a boat the next day, like on our own. Like that was our first little boating experience.
Someone hacked my Instagram and blackmailed me.
That was not a highlight. But no, that just like shows it all, that like, I mean, from on my end.
Up for us to go on trips. Like when there's so many of them. But
yeah, you can't recount all of them.
Me and Trev met up with our buddy Tito when we're waiting around in Europe.
Yeah, it's brought you so many
we get to
opportunities.
Go drive and see the Amalfi Coast.
And like the truth is, you haven't been able to like fully look back at it because you've been so focused on future, and like and present. But like, yeah. I
remember Norway. Me and John were on that tear. We won Berlin, and then I think Norway top 5, but Jake and Casey and like a few of the guys lost early, which is like, like we all hated each other, respectfully hated each other. But they all went hiking, and they went and took a trip up to the fjords and took pictures, and I was so happy and jealous at the same time. Like, oh, like
I would have
they got to go sightseeing. Like, and that's happened many times where the other guys got to go sightseeing, but I won. And then it's been the other side where it's I didn't get to sightsee, but like this year with Evan, we lost and we went and saw one of the 7 natural wonders of the world.
Yeah.
Not the natural, whatever. One of the 7 wonders of the world. The pyramids in Mexico. Whatever.
Yeah.
But it's.
But it feels like
a journey.
It feels like the last few years it was more of like pulling you away from here and other things and adding a lot of stress to your life, and the financial is just like it's just not worth it.
Yeah. It's not like a regret thing. It's just like
and you have, as much as you say, like you had so much left on the table and so much that you could have accomplished. Like, look at where you're playing. Look at how you were playing in that last game against Phil and Trevor. Like, I'm watching you play that. You lose barely. Match point, right, whatever. Like, you're playing so well. And then I'm like, and that guy, like, isn't qualifying as top 8, like, in the U.S. Like, that doesn't add up, first of all. It doesn't make sense. The qualification didn't make, it obviously wasn't a true qualification for where you're at. Whatever. Yeah. So the point is that I'm like looking at you, and where you're at doesn't feel like, you're ready to retire for where you're playing, or you have so many other things that you are capable of accomplishing, obviously. But like, for what? Is what it comes down to. Like, it would be for ego, because it's not for the money.
Right.
It's not for the joy.
Right.
And and as much as you're like, I have all this stuff left, it's like, when you really look back at it, like, this sport has given you a lot, even though it's also not given you a lot. It's given you a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think, as you, like, over the next few months continue to just look back, you'll be able to, like you said, reframe and see it that way.
Yeah, that's the goal. Full reset.
Yeah. Well.
Should get to our child.
I know. I just, it was fun to talk about. And also, I'm just so just constant in awe of everything you've done and who you are and what you've been through and how you've handled everything that's come your way. It's been like very inspiring for me and for the kids. I know, looking back to see and watching you go through it all, I'm like so grateful to you for being the person that you are.
Thank you.
And it's been been a really cool ride.
It's crazy that we did it together.
I know. The whole thing. Yeah. But I'm really excited for what's next.
Me too.
Yeah.
There you have it, people. Okay. There's our update.
Yeah.
Manhattan's my last event. I'm playing with Evan Corey, which I'm stoked. He still wants to play with me. And that'll be it. So come show up.
Yeah.
And then let's party after.
Yes. Okay.
Shoots. Say it.
Shoots.